In this video, I want to show how to diagnose a mistake in Fusion. So I'm going to rotate this object around, and the issue is that this part has a hole feature here in the bottom, but the hole feature isn't displaying. If we try to do a sketch on this face, we see that the sketch tool won't select that face. The reason being is because unlike this face, this one isn't planar. And so let's go back and look at the original sketch for that revolution. I'm going to edit this sketch, and initially everything looks fine. It's under constraint, but that might be okay if we're doing artwork. If I zoom in here, and I'll zoom way in, I see that this line right here isn't vertical. So the y-axis is going vertically. This line isn't vertical. I'll zoom back out again, and I notice that there are some green dots on here. So there's a green dot here, here, there's one here, and one up here at the top. Those are fixed constraints. Fixed constraints are toggled. So I'm going to do, I'll select fix unfix, and I'll select this point, and it does there. Okay, so I got it finally unfixed. There might have been 3 points on top of each other. I don't know. I tried selecting that one. I got that one. If I couldn't get it that way, I would do a window select if there were multiple points over top of each other and get all of them. And then I'm going to do a vertical constraint on this line. We can see that there is a midpoint constraint from the end of this line to the center of this or midpoint of this line. Let's do that vertical, and we'll put it on here. And when we finish sketch, and look at the bottom, we see now that that has taken care of the problem. So we now have a planar face there. But let's go back and look at that sketch some more. You have to wonder why put a vertical, put a fixed constraint on here. Now, when you're doing artwork, sometimes it's easy to do fixed constraints to tie down the geometry. But in this case, the geometry is trivially simple to dimension the location. So I'll put in that dimension, and I'll put in this dimension. And I see that this line is still blue, so we also need to add a horizontal constraint, and now that line is fully defined. So that's fairly simple to define that location without using the fixed constraints. If it was a lot of work, yes, I might use a fixed constraint. But we see the problems we run into, so you have to be careful when you're doing that. I suggest you almost never ever use a fixed constraint.